Hey y'all, picture this. It's a cool October morning out in Dusty Hollow, Texas, sun just creeping over the horizon, painting the sky orange, and I'm standing on my porch, coffee steaming in my hand, when a god-awful crunch rips through the quiet, like someone dropped a toolbox on a car hood. I look out, and there's Ray Caldwell's beat-up F-150, nose first into my mailbox, airbag puffed up like a ticked-off pufferfish, and Ray himself stumbling out, clutching his elbow, glaring at me like I just keyed his truck. That mailbox, though, it's standing tall, flag up, brick sleeve gleaming like it's laughing at him. I'm Nate Harper, and this, folks, is the story of how a mailbox turned into the fight of my life. See, I live on a quiet stretch of county land, a little 5-acre slice of nowhere mesquite trees, gravel drive, and a view of the stars that'll make you forget the world's a mess. My place isn't part of the Cedar Ridge HOA, never has been, and that's how I like it. No dues, no nosy neighbors telling me how to mow my grass. But Ray? He's the self-appointed sheriff of Cedar Ridge, cruising around in his truck with neighborhood watch slapped on the side in peeling vinyl, wearing a vest that looks like it came from a Halloween costume bin. He's been gunning for my mailbox for months, 3 crashes in 8 weeks, each one with the same tired excuse. Keeping the peace, Harper. Your mailbox is a hazard. Hazard my ass. That thing's built to code, county stamped, with a breakaway core that bends but doesn't break. I checked the regs, measured twice, got the postmaster's nod. But Ray doesn't care about code. He cares about power, about making sure everybody in Dusty Hollow knows he's the guy with the biggest hat. First time he hit it, I let it slide. Accidents happen, right? Second time, I raised an eyebrow, but I didn't push. Third time, though, with him spitting gravel and sneering, build better, Harper. Something in me clicked, not loud, not hot, just a cold, hard resolve, like flipping a switch. This wasn't about a mailbox anymore. It was about my home, my family, my right to wake up without some wannabe vigilante turning my front yard into a crash test site. My wife, Clara, she's the one who keeps me grounded. She came out that morning, still in her vet tech scrubs, hair in a messy bun, holding a folder stuffed with papers and a USB drive in a Ziploc bag. "We're done playing nice, Nate," she said, her voice steady as a heartbeat. "This is our line in the sand." Clara's like that quiet, but when she moves, it's like a storm rolling in slow. We got to work. I'd already hidden a trail cam in the cedar tree by the road, angled just right to catch license plates without being spotted. The night before Ray's last crash, I'd seen something weird on the footage. His truck, parked at 3 a.m., getting nudged forward by someone in a dark hoodie, moving fast, with a glint off a license plate that had a chipped 4. I didn't say a word, just saved the clip, let it sit like a loaded gun I wasn't ready to fire. Clara, meanwhile, was building a case like she was born for it. Crash reports, timestamps, county permits, all organized like evidence in a murder trial. "We've got him," she said, her eyes glinting. "He's not smarter than the facts." Next morning, after Ray's truck kissed my mailbox again, a couple of county deputies showed up. One of them, Deputy Malone, gave the mailbox a tug. "Breakaway core, solid," he said, jotting in his notebook. He squinted at Ray's neighborhood watch sticker, one eyebrow cocked. "You with the department, Caldwell?" Ray mumbled something about community safety, but Malone wasn't buying it. "That's federal property you hit," he said, voice flat as a pancake. "Title 18, Section 1705 vandalism's a federal rap." I hid a smirk behind my coffee mug. Then came Postal Inspector Ortiz, a guy who looked like he could spot a lie from a mile away. He snapped pics of the mailbox sticker, the gouge on Ray's bumper, the tire marks curving right into my post like a drunk driver's signature. I showed him the trail cam clip, frame by frame, pausing on that chipped 4. "Send me the raw file," he said, handing me a card. "We'll take it from here." The HOA didn't like being called out. Their president, Diane Pratt, strutted down my drive that afternoon, heels sinking into the gravel, waving a clipboard like a battle flag. "Your brick's a danger, Harper," she snapped, like she was reading from a script. "It's gotta go." I pointed to the permit taped inside the mailbox lid. "County says it's legal, Diane. Tell Ray to stop using it as a bumper car." She gave me this tight-lipped smile, all venom, and said, "We'll see you in court." I just shrugged. "Hope you've got a ruler handy." Diane and Ray, they were thick as thieves' poker nights, power plays, the kind of folks who think a title makes them God's gift to Dusty Hollow. Word around town was they wanted my land's easement for a fancy new HOA gate, something to jack up property values and line their pockets. My mailbox was just collateral damage, an easy way to flex muscle. But Clara and I, we didn't flinch. We sat at the kitchen table that night, watching the trail cam clip again, not because we had to, but because it reminded us what we were up against. Clara grabbed a notepad, split it into 2 columns, what we know and what we can prove. She circled prove and said, "This is our ground, Nate. We don't budge." Things escalated fast. The HOA pushed a new rule: wood posts only, retroactive, claiming my brick sleeve was a public threat. They taped a violation notice to my gate, like I was some kid who forgot to mow his lawn. I called Miss Evelyn, the county clerk who'd signed off on my permit. She cackled over the phone. "Their rules don't mean squat out there, Nate. That core's compliant, and your sleeve's just dressing. I'll send the court a letter." Sure enough, she did, laying it out plain. County code trumps HOA nonsense. Then came another trail cam hit. 2:17 a.m. Reyes truck, same chipped 4, nudged again by that hoodie guy. But this time, a second shadow was holding a phone, screen glowing like a beacon. They thought they were slick, but my camera didn't sleep. I sent the clip to our lawyer, Tim Walsh, a guy who talks slow but thinks like a razor. "They're digging their own grave," he said, grinning. The HOA meeting was a straight-up clown show. Diane live-streamed it on their fancy new app, calling my mailbox a fortress of aggression. I showed up, held up a printed still of Ray's plate, timestamp and all. "Quit ramming my mail, Diane," I said, keeping my voice even. She waved it off, said, "That's blurry, could be anyone," and moved the agenda along like she was dodging a bullet. But I caught her glance at Ray, a quick nod, like they'd planned it. I slipped the clip to a board member, Karen, who'd been quiet but sharp-eyed. Later, she texted me. They fudged the vote. Check the minutes. Sure enough, the posted minutes claimed a 4-0 vote for the wood post rule, backdated to before Ray's crash. Karen sent me the real draft 3-1, her voting no, with a metadata stamp showing Diane edited it at 1:47 a.m. Clara added it to our folder, her pen moving like she was carving her name in stone. "They think they can rewrite reality," she said. "Let's show 'em it sticks." Court day rolled around, and it was like something out of a movie. Diane's lawyer held up a photo of my mailbox, calling it a weapon of mass destruction. Tim stood up, slow and calm, and laid out our case like he was building a house. County-approved core, no HOA jurisdiction, federal law protecting mailboxes. He played the trail cam clip hoodie, phone, chipped 4, and the courtroom went quiet. The judge leaned in, squinting at the second figure's boots, dusty with a familiar red clay. Tim dropped Karen's text, the minutes, the 1:47 a.m. edit. "This is about facts," he said, "not fairy tales." Miss Evelyn took the stand with a demo post, hooked a scale to it, and pulled core bent, then snapped back. "That's compliance," she said, voice cutting like a knife. "Physics doesn't care about your feelings." Ortiz wrapped it up, federal property, criminal damage, plate matches. The judge tapped his gavel, looked at Diane, then Ray. Motion denied. Claims dismissed. Sanctions for tampering. Restitution owed. Diane's face went white as a sheet. Ray stared at the floor like it might swallow him. Outside, Tim gave me a nod. "That's round 1, he said. The HOA tried one last stun a van with a sledgehammer, claiming they'd fix my mailbox. I stood at my gate, phone recording. "Private property," I said. "Swing that, and you're done." Miss Evelyn's county truck rolled up, lights flashing, and the van peeled out, leaving a cloud of dust. The fallout was quiet but heavy. Cedar Ridge held an emergency meeting. Karen kept her seat. Diane got the boot. Ray ripped the watch sticker off his truck, left his vest on a fence post like a bad memory. 3 nearby HOAs asked for our bylaws as a blueprint: no fake badges, no secret edits, just clean rules. The county locked down their permit code, making it crystal clear: HOAs don't run the show. I could have swapped that brick sleeve for wood, called it a day, saved myself the headache. But every time I look at my daughter, Lily, I think about the picture she drew, her standing by the mailbox, holding a stick like a knight guarding a castle. "That's me, Daddy," she said, grinning ear to ear. That's when I knew this wasn't just my fight. It was for her, for the kids down the road, for anyone who's ever had to stare down a bully with nothing but a stack of facts and a stubborn streak. Last night, I walked the fence line with my neighbor, Pete, the guy who always shows up with a thermos of coffee and a story. We watched the sunset, the mailbox throwing a long shadow across the gravel. "Looks sturdy," he said. "Sturdy's tough," I replied. He nodded. "Tough wins." So here's my question for y'all. Was it worth it? Should I have yanked that sleeve and moved on? Or was standing my ground the right call? Have you ever had to face down a bully-some HOA hotshot, a nosy neighbor, or just someone who thought they could push you around? Drop it in the comments. Tell me your story. Did you fight, or did you fold? What's justice look like when it's just you, a few facts, and a whole lot of nerve? Hit that like button if you're team mailbox. Share this with someone who's been through the ringer, and let's keep this conversation going. This is Nate Harper, signing off from Dusty Hollow, where the truth stands taller than any wannabe sheriff's ego.